All right. Hello to everyone and welcome to our highly anticipated Future of DeFi and Intro to SanR event. We appreciate you joining us, and you're definitely going to be in for a great webinar here with our Santiment team. During this hour-long presentation, my team members and I will be talking all about our new price prediction marketplace known as SanR and discussing why we think this is the true next evolution of DeFi. Our team has been quite excited to show off this revolutionary platform, and we promise that this is something that has never been done in cryptocurrency. With that being said, I'd like to give a quick intro to who we are here at Santiment, as I know there are many new faces here who may not yet know much about us and our most comprehensive on-chain and social cryptometric platform available anywhere in the world. Maxim Balashevich here with me on the call founded Santiment way back in 2016 when Ethereum was just a few dollars and most of us didn't even know how to define a pandemic. His mission was to build a comprehensive market intelligence platform for cryptocurrencies, focusing on clean and reliable data feeds, low latency signals, and custom market analysis. Myself, of course, Brian Quinn-Livin. I've been with the team for about 2 years. I'm the marketing director, and you may have seen me on several of our This Week in Crypto calls every Friday. I provide insights about what our metrics are revealing about the markets via Twitter and Reddit posts mainly. I also provide our community with many alpha-driven models on our Google Sheets compatible tool known as SAN Sheets, which you can feel free to ask us about after the call by heading to our Discord. You can find that Discord link freely on our Twitter, and one of our admins may also be able to post that link in our chat. And then we have Dino Ibispigovic here as my amazing and talented co-anchor for the aforementioned This Week in Crypto show we run, as well as our head of content, where you'll see many of his segments and great analysis about the crypto markets on insights.santiment.net. You can really enjoy his knowledge of the markets by reading his daily updates on some of the most valuable pieces of data you'll find on the platform. Now, to give a little more on our site, as many of you know, there are plenty of data websites who focus on giving surprisingly vague indicators to reveal, things like crowd greed or fear, or charge aggressive or unreasonable monthly rates just to provide their audience with interesting metrics with little alpha. But Santiment leverages on-chain, social, development, and other data sources to provide actual historically proven indicators to instantly improve trader returns for as little as $44 per month. The key with us is alpha, actually providing future market movement through our data objectively and with proper analysis that has historical and mathematical backing. Santiment has developed dozens of specialized tools, indicators, and strategies that help users identify, contextualize, and react to market events and anomalies. We've got a wide range of tools, screeners, metrics, alpha-driven charts, an API, and plenty of other features. Now, with this extensive intro out of the way, I'd like to now hand the reins over to Maxim to get a little more into the meat of our platform at SanR, and then I'll jump back in and give a short demo after he and Dino say a few words.
So I'm muted. Good. I want to place, while talking about purposes and some specific aspects of SanR, I want to place in the context of the whole crypto space. I believe, actually, when a team believes that in crypto projects, crypto assets, just wait a second, I need to answer. Zoom wanted subs for me.
Can you see my screen, by the way? While Max is...
Yep. Okay. And you can hear me. You can hear me, right? Because I pressed a button. Yeah. So in the context of cryptocurrencies, there is some specific economical and social part which is not to be ignored. And yes, we do talk about, or we focus as a traders or investors a lot on monetary aspect, but in the terms when we just look at the money, there is a reason why we look at them, and the reason to look into money as investment I believe the most important reason is, or purpose of it, is to gain freedom. So it's a specific focus why we do things and why we believe crypto can give us something, and this something is a freedom. And the freedom in a social context means social and economical context means ownership. If you have and you can execute your ownership, then you have a freedom. You have freedom of many other things. Then comes of speech and I don't know many other amazing aspects of our life, and freedom of ownership. And I think it's one of the main reasons actually why DeFi found so rapid adoption. Because with our basic level freedom of owning the assets, we have private key, we can do whatever we want. Yeah, unless we store on exchanges and we're exposed to some risk, but in DeFi space, you don't interact so much with exchanges, if at all. You own everything, and you...
Because what I finalized and is more relevant now for testing team is
Sorry, there seems to be some overlap. Somebody talking.
Maybe from other stream.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, go ahead, Max.
Yeah. So with this ownership on underlying assets, we can start building interactions with each other or providing liquidity and complex strategies and owning the results out of our activities. And now sentiment, what we have been focusing already for 3 years, we built not so much related to exchange activities. We focus always on creating data intelligence, which used for making investment decisions or for not making investment decisions. Yeah, because wisdom can give you both. Do something or don't do anything. And this ownership on the lower orbit, as you see on our roadmap, was supposed to be provided by us as a team. And I think we succeeded, at least based on the amount of users and customers we're having. But all the value has been provided by us. Data collections, data extractions, dashboards, signals, I don't know, strategies, everything we had to build ourselves, many things from scratch. And now on the mid-orbit, we believed in the beginning, and we believe now even more, this creation of data intelligence can be now decentralized because there are technologies available which allow you exercise your ownership on data intelligence created. And SanR fits exactly for this purpose. If you have a knowledge as analyst or data scientist or trader or doesn't matter what is your background, if you have a knowledge of the market and you can prove it, you own the results. It's yours. Your knowledge will be stored always and you'll be always associated with your private keys in forms of NFTs or many other interesting technologies. And this is where finally, after so many years of waiting, we're so excited that we can start decentralizing knowledge we've been building and inviting other people to share, participate in it. And we truly believe ownership is a key. And this is the way to our real freedom in the digital world, which becomes more and more decentralized. With this part, I think I would give then light torch to the next.
Thank you, Maxim. Let me just figure out how to move this thing. There we go. All right, so let me present. Let me just. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen here. Do you?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
Okay, good. So thank you for that introduction to Sentiment as a platform and SanR as one of our newest products. Brian is going to be talking about SanR a bit more, or actually extensively more, in about 10 minutes. But before that, I wanted to talk about what is the title of this event, which is the future of DeFi. So my name, as Brian mentioned, is Dino. I'm one of the market analysts at Sentiment. And what I want to talk about today is a few very sparsely mentioned and, in our opinion, very underrated metrics that show the current state of DeFi and decentralized finance, and that what those metrics suggest about DeFi's imminent and long-term future. So it's no doubt in my mind that, in our mind, that 2020 has been sort of the year of decentralized finance, right? Especially the summer of 2020, which has sort of become remembered as the summer of DeFi, with the launch of all of these now blue chip DeFi coins like Sushi, Uni, and iFi, among others. However, the past few months, and really since the start of the year, have sort of slowly shifted this focus away from DeFi as this new shiny thing in the crypto market to other emerging narratives. You know, Bitcoin's historic rally, the resurgence of NFTs, you know, Beeple's NFT, which got sold for $69 million, the resurgence of meme coins like Dogecoin, and also the sort of launch of new and upcoming meme coins like Shiba Inu. And in general, there have been a variety of other narratives that have kind of dominated the mind share of the crypto community in such a way that a lot of participants have become less and less aware of what is exactly the current state of DeFi and decentralized finance, and how has decentralized finance progressed since 2020. So that's what I wanted to talk about over the next 10 minutes. Obviously, 10 minutes is nowhere near enough to really get into the meat and potatoes of it, but I think even the few metrics that I'm going to show today, I think give a pretty good context as to where we are at the moment and what that suggests about DeFi's future. So before that, we obviously need to talk about the metric that most people think about when they think DeFi, and that is what you're seeing on the chart, what you're seeing on your screen for all of this time, which is total value locked. So essentially, the total amount of value that is locked in decentralized finance protocols, this is on Ethereum in particular, over the last 2 years. And usually this is the sort of umbrella or go-to metric that people use to reference the current health of DeFi, and essentially show that, you know, DeFi is growing and that it is currently as healthy as ever. However, we think that there are several sort of intrinsic problems with total value locked. Obviously, it is a metric that we have on our platform simply because we do find merit in it. The biggest problem with total value locked is that it only shows the sort of effect of a variety of different success factors that are working behind the scenes, but it doesn't really highlight, nor does it analyze the key success parameters that we think are going to be, you know, paramount to propel DeFi forward. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. And in general, I'm going to focus on two of these key success parameters, and that is development activity, or the total amount of resources that are being pulled into decentralized finance from a developer standpoint in order to let us know whether decentralized finance is really growing within the crypto community and within its probably most important stakeholder, which are developers at the end of the day. And then the second portion, or the second key parameter or metric that we're going to be talking about, is the on-chain activity of these DeFi-related coins, and whether the demand for these coins on the chain, on the blockchain, is growing or subsiding. Total value locked, unfortunately, does none of those things, and that's why at Sentiment we've built new metrics in order to provide more context about not just DeFi, but a variety of different market segments. But first thing that I'm going to talk about is, like I said, the development activity of DeFi. So what development activity essentially is it's a metric that we have developed at Sentiment, which tracks the public GitHub repositories of over 1,500 different cryptocurrency projects. And the idea behind development activity is to visualize the amount of coding manpower that has been invested into a particular segment of the market, right? So why is development activity important? Development activity is important because, or the reason it is important is because as development activity grows, what that signals, or what that implies, is that the team is committed to developing new features, to providing new innovations in the market, and in general, it's most likely not an exit scam. So, I mean, if you go to our platform and you look at projects like Maker and Chainlink, and you look at their development activity over the last 2 years, what you're going to see is a parabolic rise, regardless of its price action of MKR and Chainlink, which are their underlying assets. Basically meaning or signaling that the Maker and Chainlink teams are working around the clock, around the year, to polishing their platform and improving their platform, despite somewhat lackluster price action of their underlying assets. And this is the most important thing for any segment of the cryptocurrency market, is whether the developer mind share and the amount of resources and effort extended into a particular segment of the market is growing or not. So what you're seeing here, we call it development activity dominance. Essentially what it shows is the ratio of the amount of development activity that is invested in DeFi related projects. So all projects in our database of over 2,000 different cryptocurrency projects compared to the rest of the crypto market. So essentially this is a ratio of DeFi dev activity or development activity to the entire cryptocurrency development activity since the start of 2020. And what you can see is a certain growth and a stable growth in the amount of interest from a developer side and in the amount of resources that have been extended towards decentralized finance protocols and solutions. So at the start of 2020, January 1st, the amount of development activity sort of invested in DeFi overall has been just 10% of the entire cryptocurrency market. In the March of 2021, obviously this has sort of subsided slightly with the general sort of depreciation in value of across the board of the crypto market over the last couple of weeks. But in March, so not that far from today, the total amount of development activity within the DeFi sector has exploded to 20%. So basically doubled since January 2020. As opposed to sort of as compared to the rest of the cryptocurrency market. So in March, just a few months ago, the total amount of development activity in DeFi has been basically 1/5 of the entire crypto market's development activity, suggesting that the developer mindshare continues to grow and that more and more developers are flocking to decentralized finance solutions, which is going to be paramount to its success. It's no secret that the decentralized finance is currently battling major problems, primarily with scalability on Ethereum. And in order for those problems to be sort of solved and overcome, it is going to be sort of paramount, or it's going to come down to developers' shoulders to acknowledge and then resolve and find solutions to these and other problems that DeFi is inevitably going to come across. So that is the first signal that we think that development activity or the decentralized finance in general has a very sort of bright future ahead, especially if development activity continues to grow, which we believe that it will, or its share of development activity of DeFi projects compared to the rest of the cryptocurrency market. The second sort of group of metrics that I wanted to talk about is the on-chain activity of DeFi-related coins. And here we're going to focus on Ethereum-based coins in particular, because at Sentiment, we provide the most comprehensive coverage of ERC20 and Ethereum-based coins as far as their network activity is concerned. So here what you're looking at right now on your screen are two metrics: daily active addresses, or DAA, and network growth. So let's very shortly cover what these metrics mean. Daily active addresses show the total amount of unique addresses that are interacting with DeFi-related tokens like Uni, Sushi, iFi, and others on a daily basis, while network growth shows the total amount of new addresses that are interacting with these coins on a daily basis. So here we're looking at the average daily active addresses for all Ethereum-based DeFi-related tokens over the last 2 years. And obviously what you can see is that 2020 has definitely sort of been the peak of average daily activity of as far as DeFi-related coins are concerned. This particular spike is the date of Uniswap's launch. So it obviously skews the data quite a bit. But even though a lot of people thought that, summer of 2020 was the peak of DeFi-related hype, what you can see is that we've had another wave of network-related activity as far as decentralized finance tokens are concerned. And this is for a number of different reasons. Number one, because a lot of new projects have been sort of unearthed in DeFi over the last couple of months with the proliferation of the space in general. But also because the incumbent coins like iFi, Uni, Sushi, even Chainlink, Maker have also had a growing network effect since the start of the rally, as more and more people are becoming accustomed to and aware of these solutions and their power overall. So here we are looking at the total amount of daily active addresses across all Ethereum-based coins since the start of 2020, plotted against the price of Ethereum, which is in green. So for this particular chart, I have excluded Uniswap's daily active addresses because of that massive spike that you see, which kind of skews the entire data. Obviously, Uniswap's launch was a black swan event. So in order to kind of visualize really what the total amount of on-chain activity is as far as DeFi-related coins are concerned, I think this is a better chart. So what you're seeing here is that even though, like I said, summer of 2020 has been dubbed the summer of DeFi or DeFi summer, the amount of activity or the amount of interaction with DeFi-related tokens has actually grown to higher levels in 2021. It has grown to as high as 110,000 addresses interacting with DeFi coins on a daily basis in March of 2021. And if you include Uniswap, it goes to as high as 119,000 addresses interacting with just DeFi-related protocols on a daily basis, which is a massive sort of improvement compared to just about, I think it was like 3,000 addresses interacting with DeFi-related tokens in the January or the start of 2020. So obviously we have had a sort of a cooling off period as far as the interaction with not just DeFi protocols, but across the board, which is one of the reasons why we thought Ethereum might be slightly overvalued over the last leg of this rally, simply because a lot of on-chain activity has kind of subsided, suggesting that, fundamentally speaking, there's not a whole lot of support for a prolonged rally. Now, obviously, given the drop, it looks a bit healthier now, but that's going into, market analysis. So I'm going to stray away from that. For that, you can check us out tomorrow at 4 p.m. when we're going to be talking about the market. This, on the other hand, is the total amount of new addresses interacting with DeFi-related coins on a daily basis. And similar to its daily active addresses, we can see another sort of prong and an exponential rise in the amount of completely new addresses created on these protocols on a daily basis, even overpowering or dwarfing the peak of 2020 hype. One other thing that I wanted to show as sort of the ultimate chart as far as on-chain activity is concerned is the share of Ethereum-based DeFi coins and their on-chain activity as far as the amount of addresses interacting with just DeFi-related Ethereum coins compared to all other coins on Ethereum. So obviously this is Uni, so you should take it with a grain of salt. But during the heyday of 2020, the amount of interaction with DeFi-related coins on Ethereum has accounted for about 10% of all Ethereum-based activity or all ERC20 tokens. And that has been very much the case throughout 2021, up until sort of the beginning of April here. So, like I said, everything points to the fact that even though there has been a sort of a slight retraction in the amount of interest and demand for DeFi-related coins after the market-wide correction on September 1st, it has very much bounced back over the last couple of months. And yes, there has been a drop, obviously, alongside the price of Ethereum. However, over the last couple of days, it has already sort of started to bounce back up, which we find as we think is a hopeful and healthy signal. And finally, we're looking at here the total on-chain transaction volume of DeFi-related tokens. So the amount of DeFi-related tokens that are moving on the blockchain on a daily basis over the last 2 years. So we have seen, once again, the peak of 2020 was here. And then over the last couple of months, it has sort of stayed at that very level, meaning the fact that on average, the mean transaction volume of all DeFi-related tokens on Ethereum over the last couple of months has sort of mirrored the peak of 2020 hype, suggesting once again that the ecosystem from an on-chain perspective remains to be very healthy. So last thing that I want to talk about is what are the next steps for DeFi? And one of the biggest steps you can basically see on this chart, which is the sort of ridiculously high fees that we have been seeing on Ethereum over the past couple of months. So our main issue, or the main issue of this decentralized finance in general on Ethereum, is that in its current iteration, Ethereum is able to process just about 15 transactions per second, which obviously means that it is by far unable to scale. The network gets congested very easily, and as a result, we have these massive fees on a daily basis to interact with the Ethereum protocol in general, and then these fees get even higher if you try to interact with complex smart contracts. Most of DeFi smart contracts are. So because of that, we think the biggest, or sort of the next massive milestone for DeFi is going to be moving more and more users to layer 2 solutions, which are going to sort of increase transaction speeds and scaling, and provide speed and affordability in order to bring decentralized finance to the masses, other than just early adopters, which we've seen flock to DeFi in 2020. Second thing that we've seen is that over the last 3 to 4 months, there's been fierce competition for sort of the crown or the king of DeFi space. In 2020, it has definitely been Ethereum. We have seen massive proliferation of Binance Smart Chain because of these benefits that layer 2 is supposed to bring, like speed and affordability. We have seen protocols like PancakeSwap take a very large share of volume and users from Uniswap and Sushi because it lives on Binance and because it's cheaper and faster to interact with it. So we think that in the next couple of months, we're going to see more and more competition from other platforms and blockchains like Binance and Polkadot, which is only going to, I think, contribute to a more healthy and diverse ecosystem. And finally, based on development activity and how it pertains to the rest of the crypto market, and based on the network-wide activity of DeFi-related coins in 2021, we think the future for DeFi coins remains bright. Everything points to the fact that the heyday or the peak of DeFi-related hype, while it might have been in 2020, the general demand and for DeFi-related protocols and interaction with DeFi-related protocols has continued despite the hype dying down, which we think is the hallmark of a healthy segment of the market, is that even when people aren't really talking about it as much, the interaction with these protocols continues to grow. So these are sort of the key takeaways that we would like you to take away from this presentation. So I hope that was, I think it was supposed to be 10 minutes. I'm sure it wasn't. Sorry about that. But this is sort of the presentation that we had for you, prepared for you today. If you would like to learn more about decentralized finance tokens, all of these charts and many others are available on Sanbase, app.sentiment.net. You can learn and add context to general daily market events. You can learn tokenomics of different coins and look into on-chain development and other types of data for all DeFi related tokens that live on Ethereum. So with that out of the way, Brian, I'm gonna hand it over to you, and I can still share my screen as you go over SanR if you want.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Dino, and thanks, Max. Really great stuff on your ends. So as Dino is about to show here, just a moment, there we go. This is our SanR platform, a blockchain-backed price prediction platform. To give some background about it, we see SanR as the missing piece of DeFi for a reason, as many of you may have seen us dub it. Crypto markets still fluctuate rather heavily based on human sentiment, and prices are driven by people's perceptions of where things could or should move next. And with this platform, we've created a decentralized way to capture the moment of human insight, to show when our advanced trading community, and hopefully the crypto community at large one day, is leaning heavily toward either the greed side or the fear side of the kind of pattern that would indicate that a bottom or a top is about to occur. You can learn from others, and we'll dive into it a little more here. We like to equate the platform to being the martial arts training facility of crypto trading with complete blockchain verified market calls. Black belts, AKA the professional traders, can monetize their talents while challenging their market biases and increasing their mastery in the company of other professionals. Others can observe, practice, and utilize market predictions in a blockchain verified environment where risk is controlled and upside is still great and rewarding. Everyone can use SanR to sharpen their skills or even find a sensei to follow for those situations where stakes will be high and important trading decisions will have to be made. You can enter weekly contests that come with no charge other than simple Ethereum gas fees and follow along with the most talented and winningest traders on the platform, or even counter trade against those who consistently make incorrect calls. There are a bevy of different ways to use SanR to your advantage, all while being rewarded with crypto for having a great prediction week. So when you have an idea about where the crypto markets or the price of a specific coin might be headed next, you can go to SanR here and connect your MetaMask and create a price prediction signal as Dino's showing right here. choosing between several different assets. Of course, you've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as many, many different types of DeFi assets and other Ethereum-based altcoins. So with MetaMask connected to SanR, we can now create either a SanRise or SanSet signal to predict whether something like Bitcoin will go up or down over the next week, as Dino already has highlighted here. We can also add some additional parameters if we like to our signal, like setting a target price or placing a stop loss order. And we won't do this today, but you can actually click on enter this forecast in the reward program button. And this will actually stake your prediction and potentially allow you to win the biweekly crypto prize of the week for having the best accuracy among all of your peers on the platform. So what Dino is demoing on his shared screen right now is known as creating a naked prediction. And when he clicks on open forecast, you'll find our now live prediction. It's also showing under my signals to reveal how the prediction's performance has actually gone thus far. Now, we don't want to leave the prediction open if we're satisfied that the price of Bitcoin got to where we expected after, say, just a couple of days. So at any time, you can actually just close your prediction and be essentially satisfied with the results, especially if you believe that it got to where you thought it might in 2 weeks after just a couple of days. That happens all the time in crypto as things move fast. But if not, your prediction will still automatically expire on the platform after just 2 weeks. Now, we also have leaderboards here that you can check out to see who's doing the best at any given time. You can check out the top participant performances here on the right, the amount of current round predictions they have, their current percentage-based performance, and their average profitability. And we won't do it now, but you can actually click on any of them to see their forecasts. Okay, he's gone ahead and feel free to show that off. You can see their forecasts, performance, and even see each of their individual performance charts as they happened right there. And in case you get lost at any time, if you want to go back really quick, Dino, you've got these convenient how-to links here at the very top to help guide you on where you can go. They should be up, right there at the top, I believe. Yeah, top right. Otherwise, so you can use those go-tos to really allow you to get familiarized with the platform, know exactly where to go, how to use it to its full functionality. Now, as I mentioned, SanR is blockchain backed, and this is actually a really big deal as it ensures that your predictions that others view, as well as the predictions other users make, are completely transparent and permanent. Nothing can be modified in hindsight to make anyone's calls appear to be more successful or unsuccessful at any given time. And this is a problem that you often may see on something like Twitter or Reddit, where you're never quite sure whether they're fudging the numbers a little bit to show off how great of a predictor they are, or how wrecked they got. Either way, this allows you to really see everything objectively and transparently without any questions about how well they are calling the markets at any given time. So there are several reasons why you may actually want to create a forecast on SanR or keep an eye on other people's forecasts. The first and foremost is you can use SanR as a way to truly build your reputation as a person that truly understands the crypto market and its directional changes. While there are other places where you can create and share your predictions, what sets us apart is the immutable nature of each and every prediction made on the platform. You can't take back anything, you can't delete any signals, and everything is 100% transparent and permanent, as I mentioned. And number two, you can create a naked prediction like we just did a minute ago, or you can stake SAN tokens when making a prediction. For those who don't know what SAN token is, it's essentially a discount utility token that allows our users to get our subscription or memberships at a hefty discount, whether SAN token is worth 20 cents or 60 cents. In market terms, it's always worth $1 on our platform. So there's tremendous benefits to staking SAN tokens at any given time to make a prediction. Now, finally, the number three reason why you may want to use SanR, even if you don't know where the market is headed precisely, is the fact that you can get a sense of market sentiment. we have all these social metrics. We have social volume, weighted social sentiment. We have funding rates that often give a really good indication as to where things are going. But with this, you can check on other people's open predictions in real time from a pool of people that are very often above average in terms of their market know-how, and analyze their performance based on their current couple of weeks that they've had it open, or look at their previous predictions to give context as to how successful they've usually been. And of course, all of these predictions are stored on the blockchain. Now, then if you find a user with a proven track record, after sensing where the market's going, you can follow him or her by staking those SAN tokens and actually just copy trading his future price signals. So you essentially have that guide at your disposal. And likewise, if you have someone with a horrible market sense, or someone who often FOMOs incorrectly and FUDs incorrectly, this is a great tool that will allow you to counter trade against them and use them as a nice hedge. And reputation is a major part of what makes SanR useful. The platform allows anyone to position themselves as an authority on the market and basically show those receipts. People can be certain that your prediction performance is credible and transparent at any given time. So in conclusion, SanR really allows you to visibly see and learn from crowd sentiment in an advanced and transparent and honest way that's never really been seen in cryptocurrency. And we really do see this as a game changer to bring the crypto communities together and close the gap in how to predict where markets are heading next, because there's always going to be that education barrier that makes it difficult to take the leap from someone who's just getting started with crypto into someone who's a crafty veteran and really understands the markets to their fullest. So getting this education in real time in a transparent way will really enhance many of your abilities, including us here on the Santiment team, where we use the tool regularly to make profitable trades by connecting both advanced and beginning traders alike together for both groups to benefit. The advanced traders can see what beginning traders are doing in order to somewhat counter trade against them and understand what the crowd think is at any given moment. And beginning traders can actually read between the lines, get away from that crowd think, and look at those experts in the markets who really understand how to trade against the crowd and see what truly is happening. Many of those advanced traders are using our app.santiment.net platform to get their decisions as well. So you get a nice shortcut into their perspectives. So that essentially concludes the brief walkthrough of SanR, and we can now go ahead and transition into our final segment with everyone now. I know we are going to be taking some questions, and we can all unmute and just let's talk together about where we stand with everything that we just presented here.
So maybe, Brian, the best way to do this would be there's a option for people to raise hand in Zoom by clicking on there's a reaction or emoji sort of tab. So when you click on that one, and you can raise your hand. So instead of everybody unmuting at the same time, which might cause pandemonium, might be better for people to have any questions to raise their hand virtually, digitally in Zoom, and then Brian, you can call on them one by one if there are any questions.
Yeah, that's perfect. You guys will see the reaction button at the bottom. And when you click on that, you'll see a big button that says raise hand. And we will look for your icon to pop up and basically unmute as we see questions pop up. So we do have a few people, commenting. Julio mentioned that it would be really cool to have an API as part of your process of tracking your trades in order to have something that basically can be shareable or trackable on your own end very quickly at any given time. Now, I believe we do have that, and Balresh has answered promptly with that information. Dino or Max, do you have more information on how this API actually works?
Maxim would be.
Yeah, I mean, it's technical. There is documentation how it works. It does exist, of course, because you can work with API, and as a matter of fact, some users are on our platform using API to create, close, and maintain signals. You can. It requires, of course, a little bit work, and over time, when we grow, there will be maybe standard models or how to call it, components, which you can just plug in. Yeah, it is by design possible. And no, it's okay. Maybe some other questions.
Yeah, another question I see is from MQK Lin, who says, how can SAN tokens be used on SanR besides their current usage, just signal creation and following users? Are there any other types of usages for them?
Yeah, of course, possible. As we move the whole functionality now to our layer 2 optimistic rollups, then we can just, because it's SanR, we can, for instance, use transaction small fees in SAN, not in Ethereum. We can do it. And then we can let community run the DAO on managing some parameters. What is the default set of amount of SAN tokens you need to stake to follow anyone? Like quite some parameters which are related to performance of platform, then you can say, okay, good. Whoever stakes SANs and converts them to governance token, you can manage these parameters. And this is, well, first, we will definitely spend much more time on making system user experience very flowing, and then on this end we'll add this DAO. But this is the way you can expect to happen the moment we see it's growing and used by more and more by a lot of people.
Great.
Yeah, and well, okay, if as I don't see, at least not in chat, the questions. Generally, if you run around a node in a node, which for instance allows decentralized way also to copy trade from one user to another. So for running the nodes, you can stake and get a reward in some tokens. And there's also very interesting usage. I remember we discussed developer calls. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone actually you can raise a hand, or you can just type a question. It's up to you, because sometimes it's easier to talk, or sometimes it's easier to type. It depends on what personality you are. So yeah, give a sign if you have questions. Yeah, at the same time, I will a little bit extend that one of the biggest usage of SanR, yes, it's like Dino said, journaling. But I also call it journaling in a way that you very fast learn your trading or investing DNA. We have a kind of, it's a self-learning tool. You know us ourselves to some degree, I mean, as humans, but it's always surprising once we realize something new about us as a creatures. And here in trade investing, you always think, why did I do this? And then we start blaming ourselves. And I believe, as a person with meditative or yoga background, that we no need to blame ourselves. We're very good with what we have. Can improve slowly, but there are beautiful qualities each of us has when we interact with trading, investing, and even doing buying tops and selling bottoms. This can be super valuable for others. I wouldn't even say it's a wrong decision, just your reaction, and it's very natural human reaction. You record, and people notice it through our visualization history. You can see when person's doing what. And the moment you see, you see when it's typically open and closing, we have a special tool. You can make a note on each provider. And when he's creates signals, you see your notes. Your brain starts working much more efficient and in a relaxed and transparent for you way. You understand more about the reality surrounding you and reality living inside you. And I don't know, me for yoga person, it's the straightest way to success. The more you understand, or the more transparency you bring in your inside world. And this is one of the biggest purpose of a tool which will exist regardless if sentiment exists or not. Quote is open. It will be more open as we need to partially do backend to make expenses not so high. But you can keep it for yourself and improve your understanding of are you good in spotting bottoms, are you good in tracking tops, become very fast, very clean. And you can find those who are better than you in some other aspects. So it's very interesting. It's a community-driven tool. Needs a bit learning curve, but the moment you're passing it, I'm using it like every day. It's quite fun, and I know where
honestly,
I'm not so good.
Yeah, I honestly think it's surprisingly simple. You know, I kind of just explored it one day a couple of weeks ago and was pretty new to it myself, and found after about 5 or so minutes, I got the hang of it pretty quickly. Once you get, you know, some sand tokens in there, and you can make some staked trades or predictions, I should say, it's pretty intuitive. Julio says that every time you trade, you're basically saying to the market that you're better, and that's sort of true. I mean, if you aren't,
you're signaling, you're signaling. So now you send a signal. Okay, I spot something, and this is the purpose. Sanar, it's like for spotting, and you're sending signals. Your brain actually constantly working, receiving information, and the moment you send something, say, okay, I think market will grow. Doesn't matter if it will grow up or not. You should record constantly this. Signals in your brain, whatever is coming from, and then you realize, oh, wait a second, these last 8 times I reacted to something. This is because I read something on Cointelegraph or on this particular set of Twitter, and the results are you open and say, interesting. Now I have a proof. I have a feeling for it. And if you stay in crypto market for 3 to 6 months, you know how media works and how to use it to your advantage. It doesn't matter what they say, you know, okay, the moment they say more or less the same story, say, I will go against them because most of the time it works. So, and it's very fast, it's learning curve, but it's very visualized and transparent. And as Dino said, and it's actually decentralized learning curve. I was even thinking maybe we'll launch a not competition, but a kind of additional program. Let's make 5 or 10 accounts for most active, socially active influencer. I will just keep all the sayings. It'll be very, very interesting track record. It'll be quite a lot of fun, I think. Yeah. And one thing now I recall it, we say the transparent. Yeah, it is transparent, but when the moment signal is created, it's partially disclosed. You don't see all information. To see full information, you need to subscribe to this person. Platform tracks, for this asset, signal has been created, but you don't know who. So you cannot make any decisions based on it. You need to know who, because then you know, okay, typically his behavior is like this. You can make conclusions. And this is where token economy kicks in. It's partial disclosure, and it's where all our cryptography and decentralized stack are actually super useful, and where there is no way you can be sure in it in a platform like eToro or others. Actually, you can be sure that they're using your data to maybe even build AI and stuff on top of it just to trade against you. In this way, we could also try to, but we need to follow each and single one. So everyone needs to say some tokens if you want to follow each provider. Yeah, this kind of things, it will come. I'm pretty sure it will come to the market more and more. I hope, and I'm convinced we will not be the only ones. I hope so. Doing this, markets need more transparency and power for innovation. But okay, before I keep talking, maybe some other interesting questions.
Anton asks, does SanR have any notifications for predictions when a user is, I think he's saying, is planning to close his prediction or something like this?
Very good. You mean is there any way to give you an food for your thought to say, okay, maybe I should close? Is this the question? I hope so. At least because I have.
I think so. Yeah, like some sort of notification for when someone's
And it fits perfectly to the next question. Now I'm getting, I slept today so little because it was fine, but now more questions coming. I think Dino and my team notice I'm getting activated. This second question, is it part of Sunbase? Yes, it's not yet. But the reason I was sleeping so little because I was meeting with part of our team. We were discussing and we decided, okay, let's bring or let's merge and marry our Sanar and Sunbase, and it will be a part of Sunbase Pro. And I will even give you very interesting because it looks like CD Creek is a Sunbase Pro user already. We will, regardless if you have Sun tokens or not, we can give initial stake like 50 cents for some Sunbase Pro users, just to let you kick off very easily, and you will be able to experiment with Sanar from your usual environment. And this usual environment in Sunbase, it's actually, as I said in the beginning, over 3 years of design for this to provide you context and signaling. In mostly lately we use screeners to give you food for your thoughts. Okay, do I need to do something in this portfolio? So it lives at the moment on Sunbase, indeed. And you can connect the signals to Telegram, so you'll get in Telegram push notifications. And we will be mirroring it. So probably some part of it also will flow to Sanar, so that we see what you're creating signals for, and you will have context there, a set of signals from our database metrics. If we notice some irrationality, or let's say, how do you call this word? Not irrationality.
Anomalies?
Anomalies, yeah. And it will be mirrored more and more. From what you have Sunbase, we will have probably the contextual field on Sanar, and most of functionality will be available on Sunbase too.
I think if the question was simply whether you can get notifications when a person that you're following opens or closes signals, then yeah, you can just go to, so there's this bell icon, you go from a summary to following people that you're following, and you can see when they open a new signal and when they close a signal, you get, there's a notification tab here.
Actually, we could write even a small bot. If you want, you can
sure,
connect
yeah.
you
we can write like a Telegram account. Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, we can. It's the design of the system is we don't want any of your privacy information be accessible by us. So we have no idea who uses creative signals. As a matter of fact, I see later user coming. I really have no idea who they are. And some of them are doing a great job. I say, wow, not bad. And happy to see them. But of course, we can just add, because you can create a new Telegram account. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
I like when talking about how you can use SanR for self-improvement. I like that. I mean, it's not like I completely agree with that sort of philosophy, but there are these like 4 stages of self-improvement or skill learning. You know, you go from unconscious incompetence, when you don't know, you're not good, but you don't know why you're not good. You go from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence to conscious competence, and to finally unconscious competence, when you're simply, you not only are aware of what you are doing, but you have sort of internalized it so often that you can do it without even thinking. And I think this is where, you know, for people that want to develop their acumen as a trader, I think SanR helps with those like middle stages. You know, conscious incompetence is the first one, where you can analyze your thinking and, you know, why you made these signals and why they have turned out not to be so great, or why they turned out to be great. And then slowly sort of venture into conscious competence, when you're, you know, you are becoming a better trader, but you also are aware of what sort of biases you have and how try to eliminate them over time. And then finally move into that, you know, 5-head brain, or galaxy brain, as 4chan likes to call it, where you make decisions and you are a decent market trader, but you've internalized most of your skills and most of your biases already. Okay. Any other questions, Brian?
CD Creek says, just want to thank you all for the weekly inside reports. I learned something every week and greatly appreciate the energy that Brian, Dino, and the entire team bring to help educate us newbies.
Much appreciated, CD Creek.
Yeah, our pleasure. This is exactly why we do it. We want to share our knowledge and share our metrics, more importantly, with everyone who is willing to really learn about them. And we're glad to have you anytime. And don't forget about our This Week in Crypto call tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to be able to be there tomorrow, but Dino will run the show.
No,
and as always, do a very good job. Yeah.
I think tomorrow's going to be very, yeah. I think tomorrow's going to be a very, very good stream. Last week was an awesome stream. First of all, there were a lot of people there. Second of all, there were so many interesting metrics. If you're interested in how our weekly streams work and you haven't ever watched them, go to YouTube, type in sentiment, find our channel, and just look at the last video from last week. We took an hour to talk about where Bitcoin and Ethereum were, signs of capitulation, and in general, what's going on in terms of social activity, on-chain activity, derivatives data. It was, I think, one of the better shows that we've done, and a lot of things that we talked about seem to have kind of enveloped over the last week. So, check it out tomorrow at 4. We're going to be live on YouTube.
Here's the link to our YouTube for anyone who wants to check that out.
All right. If there are no other questions, I think we can slowly wrap it up. We're already an hour in, which was the promised slot. Max, any final words before we go?
Life is never stopping. Innovation keeps happening. Everything is changing. So join us early as you can, but don't give up if nothing works as you expect. And success in one shape or one form or another will come. Persistence is the key. Persistence is really the key. And thanks for everyone to join, and we will keep pushing what we can do on our side. And whenever we connect and do something together, our way or path to the freedom becomes stronger. Sometimes we even help each other to become more free people. And I believe in the modern world, it's maybe the most important treasury, which we will soon appreciate even more. Anyway, so before becoming too philosophical,
I mean, you are a founder. You need to speak in esoteric words.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can I can leave meaty stuff also.
The more words of wisdom, the better.
Okay, Brian, want to sign us off?
You betcha. So, I just want to thank everyone personally and on behalf of our entire team. Thank you all for joining us. Really looking forward to having more of these webinars over time. We're going to try to use Zoom more and more, in addition to our YouTube for our, of course, regular weekly calls. So hopefully you can tune in tomorrow. Don't forget that our SanBase Pro subscriptions are just $44 a month, very affordable compared to the competition out there. So really just, consider trying a month, and I assure you that you will be blown away by the amount of metrics that we have. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Julio, for the kind words. Thank you, CD Creek. And we will see you all tomorrow for the show.
If anyone wants the charts or the presentation that I've shared today, as far as the different metrics showing the current state of DeFi, just ping me in our Discord. My handle is IBIS, and I'll be more than happy to share with you. Thank you, Brian, for hosting, for a great job of hosting the event. And talk to you all tomorrow.